You're finally awake.
This episode, welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. There's no easy way to put this. Amanda, I heard she's gone through some portals, and unfortunately she's forgot the last 10 years of her memories. She doesn't know any games that came out during the last 10 years or anything that's happened. And what's the last thing you do remember, Amanda? Maybe we should start there.
What year is it?
It's just 2025. It's 2025.
Oh my gosh. No, I was at work and I was like staining some bacteria, and like I don't know, I must have slipped. I just remember seeing like this kind of orange portal looking thing. It was really weird. It was like this orange circle, and I went, "Oh, and then I fell in it, and then now I'm here." So am I still working? What's going on with the world? Is Trump still the leader at the GOP? Is there like, I don't know, that they're fighting going on? Like it's, I'm so confused. What game is out here? Is this Skyrim? Skyrim's still awesome and legit, and everybody's talking about it, right?
Yeah, you can play it on your refrigerator now.
Yeah, actually, Skyrim is kind of everywhere. It's been the forever giving tree to gamers. They've sold like 50 million copies. I just made that number up, but
well, I was ready to believe it. I mean,
they've remastered it like 71 times, I think. Yeah,
the audio is still shit though.
Oh. But why would they need a remaster? The game is a masterclass to begin with. I mean, I don't know. There's, I remember there was. Did we discover more things on Mars? I know that we just discovered in September water on Mars.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
We've discovered it every year since then. Except now it's still news.
Oh, okay.
We just keep finding out there's more water on Mars.
That's wild. I don't know. I gotta check. Oh my god! I had to check my Clash of Clans. Are my castles doing okay? I had to check my cat. Okay. Are you guys on Clash of Clans?
There's now 4 Clash of Clans, by the way. All by the.
Oh, that that makes sense why I can't log into it.
I hate how that's probably accurate, and that there's 4.
There's 4 the 4 games that company makes, and they're all in the Clash of Clans universe. Welcome to the new hell.
Well, listen,
every
political thing you ask and every news thing seems to be the same.
Yeah,
but it's not. But we can't trust gaming. Gaming has moved on.
Okay.
Things have changed. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Well, I'm just really hoping that when the Game Awards comes in December, man, I would bet all of my money on The Witcher 3. I don't know if have you guys heard of this game? The Witcher 3 is like such a great game. Have you guys played it?
Have you heard of The Witcher 4?
What? They just came out with The Witcher 3. How?
No.
It's been 10 years.
Oh, that's right. It's been 10 years. I was going to say, they're so fast over there at CD Projekt. But wait, it took them 10 years to make the 4th one?
Yeah,
dude, check this out.
It's actually...
They made another game as well, and it's in the future, and it's in America.
What?
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. So
the medics kill you.
Emilio has actually jerked off to that game every year for the last 10 years one time. It's kind of like a little fun little tradition. Yeah,
it's a master blast. Yes.
A 10-year Gherkin the Jerkin with Geralt. All right.
Yeah. Well, Amanda, I think to help jog your memory, I've heard this about amnesia patients, that it helps to maybe set the stage. Like, let's go through everything you might remember with gaming, things that maybe are important to us that we can share with you that you would also remember. And then maybe that will help jog your current memory of some of this time that you've missed while you were going through red and blue portals, glitching, falling
There's a
forever.
lot of portals, man. Yeah. I felt like my frames dropped so far in life. I just didn't know where I was.
Yeah,
half the time.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you remember Warcraft 3 custom maps, Amanda?
I do. Oh my gosh, those were amazing. I used to play with them all the time. Have they just become a huge thing now in the future?
Do you remember the custom map that everyone played, Defense of the Ancients? Dota, if you were nerdy enough to call it that.
Oh, that sounds very familiar. Yes.
So that has actually kind of caught on to its own standalone genre. I don't know if... Yeah.
Wait,
Nick-
it's a whole genre instead of just like a game mode that's become really cool. It's an entire genre.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
Bobby.
They've put
Sorry, go.
they put every single type of spin on it, from third person to first person to shooter to pseudo RTS, all kinds of things. It is now everywhere.
That's
Yep, by different companies, not just Blizzard, but yeah, it became a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I feel like that would be really successful. That's been, well, I mean, obviously it's successful if a bunch of people are buying into it and doing it. How does a shooter one work with that?
Well, Valve actually makes a shooter one, and it's being tested right now. It's called Deadlock.
Why is it called
Yeah.
Deadlock?
I don't know.
By the way, DLG won the Grand Championships 3 years running. You can look it up later.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, we have
that's
a-
really cool. That's good. That's exciting.
Yeah.
We have our
Yeah.
own team. I'm on it, but I'm not even the coach. I'm just like the water boy, essentially.
So do you remember tower defenses? Also a Warcraft 3 custom map? I was trying to jog your memory. Do you remember like building towers and it was
I
kind
do.
of
I
Yeah.
do.
So
It was good pinch points. Yeah.
unfortunately those they didn't really kind of fizzled out, I would say. Not the most popular. Yeah. I thought that was really going to be a thing, but
It seemed like it.
yeah.
That's a bummer to know. Well, dang.
So bad.
How have the
this-
communities been though? You know, like because I remember at least like yesterday, like, it was a lot of fun building a community with a whole bunch of people, but especially even in like Warcraft and StarCraft. How have
Yeah.
those been?
Okay, you know the whole like not many people online like women thing. That's still around.
Yeah. They've just like instead of like the edges of 4chan, if you remember that, now they're just doing that kind of in a lot of places, and like no one really cares because it's so normal to see. Yeah.
Can I go
no,
back in the portal?
You might want to.
I mean,
Will it
if
take
it's
me
still
back?
open, you're more than
All right. I mean,
Okay,
Well,
let's
I have
talk
a
about some
family
of your
now.
favorite games. This is
Yeah.
So Elder Scrolls Oblivion, right? You love that game?
I loved Morrowind, yeah, and Elder Scrolls.
Morrowind.
11/11, 2011. Don't ever forget,
It's been
amazing.
10 years, right? You would imagine that a brand new one is waiting for you, right? Like,
Yeah, I would
yeah.
hope so. Yeah.
Well, they did it
How
in
is it?
space.
Oh,
And in the
that could be
future-
really cool.
It could really be really cool.
yeah,
The
we
way
But
you're
it
saying
wasn't.
that,
It
it's not
wasn't.
good. Oh
No.
no.
They jumped the space shark. Like, as soon as they go to space, that's it. I think you're killing your own IP there. I don't know. I think Bobby had it right. Anytime anybody's like, where do we go? Let's go to space. Yeah, that fucks it all up for some reason.
That's such a bummer. I was really looking forward to like a moon spice trade route established between different planets. I thought that would be kind of really cool to have. Maybe not an Elder Scrolls world in space, but like just especially the way that they've made the games of it being open world. I mean, why not open up the worlds? But that's very disappointing. That
too many
Bethesda
worlds. Apparently, we
you remember-
found out too
couldn't
many.
handle it.
There's such a
You-
thing.
Do you remember that weird 80s movies Dune? Speaking of space, they remade that.
Oh yeah, what?
It was really good. Really good.
As a game?
No, well, they're making a game
That's
now
coming.
too, based off of the success of the new
Ooh.
movies.
Oh,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be really cool.
And we're gonna play it
okay.
There's a
together.
show on Max for it too. Oh, there's this thing called Max. HBO. Remember Redbox? It's
Yeah.
all online now. Everything's online. There's like 8 of them. Netflix is gone.
This is the future.
spread.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Here's
you have
some
to pay
good
for all
news.
of them. It's all at least $5.
We
Yeah,
found the good
each.
news finally. With the Elder Scrolls, I think the 6th one has been announced every
Okay.
year for the past 6 years,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
there's like a 10-second trailer that's just the title text zooming out. That's all we
And
know.
then some trees.
And mountains.
Sorry, mountains and trees.
Oh.
My bad. That's my bad. So it's coming, maybe.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay,
Possibly.
wait. Okay, so if I trip into another portal and then I jump 10 years ahead, do you guys think that it'll be out within that year?
I wouldn't.
It
put
may be
money
the
on
beta.
it.
It might be the
Okay.
beta.
Well, we'll probably get a 1-minute trailer and see some more mountains and trees, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least.
Well,
At the very
Possibly
least.
someone speaking.
maybe
But
before I die.
Do you remember Daisy? Speaking of things that won't die, do you remember Daisy?
Yeah.
Remember how it was a mod for Arma? Well, believe it or not,
Yeah.
they released it as its own game. The lead developer of it then ditched the company and left everybody to flounder. And then the game is still going on, still fries your CPU, and is still pretty shitty. Everyone's still an asshole in the game. But hey, you can buy it on sale usually for like $10.
That's good to know. I'm starting to hear kind of a trend here. These games are just taking levels and custom content that their players have made and turning that into ways of making profit.
Yeah, that's
Actually, you know what? Kind of,
yeah. It's
there's a lot of that. There's a
also
lot of that.
on the subject
Is there anything unique coming out in the last 10 years that was really big?
We'll
We
get
talked
there.
about a lot of bad
Innovation.
shit. Yeah, let's talk about the good shit now.
Let's talk about some good shit.
We'll get there. I just want to say one thing about DayZ. So there's actually a trade war between Canada and the US now. And because of that, I can only say it
I thought they were
DayZ.
best friends.
Well, some things happen, and now it's DayZ. Okay, now I have to say DayZ. It's just the rules.
Legally,
right.
he has to.
Yeah, we will fill you in after the show about all that stuff. But so, yeah, some cool stuff that's coming out. I don't know, Emilio. What do you think Amanda should be looking forward to or playing?
Well, the things that excite me in gaming are new ideas, new genres, new mechanics, things like that. So there has been a few, and I would have never saw them coming. Like, let's just go over them because they're a little hard to believe. So there's social deduction multiplayer, which I don't know if Werewolf existed 10 years ago.
Yes.
Oh,
Remember the card
Yeah.
game Werewolf? Yeah.
So that's kind of
I
become.
love that game.
Yes. So now you can play it digitally as all kinds of stuff. You could play it as space men. You could play it as people in an office setting. You can play it as all kinds of stuff. Just very backstabby. Find out who the bad guys are and get rid of them or get rid of yourself accidentally. So that's been a lot of fun. Another one has been Battle Royale. I don't know if you've ever seen that Japanese movie or anime. Basically, like 100 people all in one server all get thrown in with random weapons, and they all fight until there's just one person left. That's been absolutely gigantic. I would say that was probably the biggest genre in the last 10 years. Games
and
like
Call of Duty
Fortnite.
even made their own battle royale, and it's called
a genre
Warzone, and it's
within genre.
and it's arguably one of the most toxic places on the planet. So,
Well, I'd expect as such when you have got like a digital coliseum, right? So that's kind of
Exactly.
what
That's
that
pretty
reminds me.
much what
Yeah,
it
wow,
is.
that's really
True.
cool.
That's probably where they're actually, as far as innovation, I think people watching, like a big crowd watching that would be really cool digitally. Anyway, another one is about Bullet Heaven. I don't know if you remember Bullet Hell when you were 10 years ago, when like a bunch of bullets are coming at you and you're trying to dodge them. Now the bullets are, I know it doesn't sound like a big innovation, but instead of coming at you, they're coming out of you and you have to dodge things. And somehow I could probably rattle off 40 to 50 of these titles, like with one Google search. Like they're very cheap to make, and people love them, including me and Bobby. We play a lot of these.
And Amanda,
they're typically 2D.
This podcast was an early adopter, and I feel like we tried to push calling this VSLs, Vampire Survivor likes, after the first one of these called Vampire. That term didn't really catch on. I think everyone.
Did you survive? Like in that game, Vampire Survivors, you survive a bunch of vampires. Like, did they try biting you and you're just like swatting them away with garlic?
I know. Yeah, no, that's it. No, there is a garlic power up. Yes.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you don't remember this, but I was playing Vampire Survivors and I was really into it. And then I couldn't get very far. And you came over one day and just sat down and just like blew through my high score and then did like 3 more levels on your first playthrough. And you're like, I don't like this game. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck is going on?
You know what
happened.
though? Yeah, I don't remember this, but that sounds like me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll help you remember. What do you got, Nick?
Okay.
So there's these things called extraction shooters now.
Oh,
there are
that's something in my core is like calling to me with this. Yeah, like this sounds very familiar.
So imagine a game where you put a bunch of people in a map, right? And you only have one life, and whatever you decided to equip your character with, you lose if you die. And then whatever you pick up inside, you get to keep. You have
like RuneScape in the wilderness, right?
Exactly, but
Yeah.
shooters and set in usually
Oh,
Russia or some other depressing place like Louisiana. There's a game called Escape from Tarkov. There's like this whole war now between the Ukraine and Russia. It's happened again.
That has happened. Yeah.
It actually happened twice since you've been gone.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so it takes place in Russia, and the place is called Tarkov, and you have to fight other people. It's a military simulator shooter. It's very realistic. You'd love it.
This
but
sounds
the other
so
thing,
familiar. Have I played a lot of this?
oh,
And I just
Yes. Yeah. This
Okay,
should really
okay,
jog
this
your
makes-
memory. Yep.
Yeah.
we actually
like
didn't see you for like 6 years because of. I'm just kidding. No,
It sounds.
we didn't
it
see you for a
sounds
while.
about right. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
very. I just remember needing like 7 steps in order to heal like 2 HP. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, you also learned a lot of Russian. You were saying cheeky breeky a lot. It was pretty interesting. Secondly, we have like another example of these extraction shooters is Hunt Showdown. It's definitely a more, I shouldn't say whimsical, but a more funner. I shouldn't say funner. Wow, a less realistic way to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's bosses as well. Like there's like so. First of all, it's set in Louisiana. You're essentially like an exorcist. You're on a 3-man team or sometimes duos, and you're using weapons. Fictional and real weapons from like the 19th century. And it is very, very gross because it's all zombies and like demonic creatures and stuff. But it's really fun. And then lastly, there's the last and coolest flavor, in my opinion, is Dark and Darker. It's a medieval version of an extraction shooter. You get to choose your class. You can even mix classes, but they kind of nerf that. But you can be like a barbarian or a rogue, and you go into dungeons, and there's other players, and you can kill the other players and take their stuff, and then sell it in a marketplace. But yeah,
This
what do you
is
got?
a super cool genre, by the way.
Yeah,
Like,
It
very
seems
cool.
really neat. Yeah.
I'm surprised how none of us have played together for Dark and Darker, just because it's very slow gameplay. So people like Emilio can play it because he's obviously gotten older and his reflexes are shit. And then there's also like a history aspect, so Christian can play it. And then you can also play as a lady, so then you can play it. So
I
Oh,
thought,
good. Glad I get to be the token. Can I hold am I allowed to hold, a weapon, or do I have to hold the torch? Because
Dude,
it's
you can
dark
hold-
and darker. So
in the last
You
10
can hold
years,
the
we've had
biggest
some
weapon.
really strong female protagonists in gaming. You can hold weapons
yeah, actually
now.
we have. You ever heard of Aloy?
Yeah, Aloy.
No, but been a lot of strong female representation in video games lately, actually. Believe it or not.
It's to the
That's cool.
consternation of some people. But anyways, we'll...
Actually, in these past 10 years, my vocabulary has deteriorated, and I don't even know what he just said. I don't even know what that word is. But we'll get
I
there.
have no idea.
So a
this
couple
is-
of things. Go ahead.
Sorry, just a little offshoot story. I met a real person in an arcade bar, and I was like, I love games. I work in gaming. He's like, I love games too. I want to work in gaming. And then we got talking about the newest Battlefield, and I was like, oh yeah, they totally fucked it up. Like, no one likes it. They kind of just missed the bar on balance and setting, and it was buggy. And then he was like, yeah, but the worst part was you could be a female soldier.
That was the worst part for him.
I was like, it was like I met someone I'd only thought existed on an online space in real life, and I just didn't know what to say. I was like, but it was buggy as hell. And he was like, yeah, they could patch that, but like the woman thing, I was like, oh my God, dude, that's fucking crazy. Anyways,
Dude,
so
imagine
that's
that guy going to like Syria where all the Kurdish people are in like northeastern Turkey, and then seeing women soldiers and then like exploding from realism. Oh man.
Well, it's difficult out there. Anyways, Nick, sorry to interrupt. What's next?
So another thing that that's kind of settled since your time of not being here and falling into the portal of bacteria is that they've now begun to bring console games to PC through Steam of all places. So there's these games called The Last of Us, the first and second one. Both feature really cool characters and really good stories. You play as two characters that exist outside of, after a apocalyptic event where mushrooms take over the world. It's very sad, makes you cry, makes you not want to have a kid in some sort of way. And then we also have God of War and God of War Ragnarok. I remember God of War 1, 2, and 3.
Games. Yeah. They put them on the PC now?
Yeah, but they're new games. And now Kratos is in Norway / Denmark / whatever fictitious world / mythological world that all the Norse gods are in. And he's sad now because his wife died, and now he has son that might not be his. So yeah, another game that makes you not want to become a parent sometimes. And then lastly, Ghosts of Tsushima, where you get to be a samurai during the Mongol invasion. It's a moment where they took the island of Tsushima, and you play a rebellious samurai who needs to juggle his judgments of either fighting with honor in an open battlefield and dying like an idiot, or becoming a ninja. And you can kind of hybridize the style. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Should I stay super cool, or should I get even fucking deadly cooler? Like fucking you're already a samurai, dude. You're thinking about fucking weekending as a ninja, and that's some sort of moral dilemma, dude.
One of the talents.
Both. Yeah, one of the talents is like gigolo on the side, dude. What the fuck?
What do you call it? One of the talents is like, you're a samurai. You can get shot more now. Like, it's just, that's about it.
That sounds really cool.
Lastly, the next couple things. The one game that you actually, two of these games you really liked when you played them is Baldur's Gate 3. Remember Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Imagine that, but for the PC.
And I wouldn't have any Catholic family members telling me I'm going to hell because I could just hide and play it on the PC, right?
Yeah.
No. It's an evangelicals now. So.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the new bingo card on that one. Amazing game. One game of the year. It's really fun. Once again, I was still not surprised that we haven't played it as a group, only because Bobby actually just moved into a new house. Or is moving into a new house. Emilio doesn't work anymore, I guess, because construction in the San Diego area is not hiring Emilio for some reason. And then Christian is dealing with having a new baby. We forgot to tell you about that one.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Had a baby.
I had a kid, too.
One, and, well, has two children.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Is Bobby still child-free, though?
Oh,
yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Oh, wow, man. Babies are invading the DLG space.
They are too.
Yeah, it's kind of like a virus.
Oh, and on D&D has become so big. It's not like a basement thing anymore. Like, normal people with jobs walk around and they talk about D&D to each other on the street as they're like, it's just a thing.
Without shame.
What?
With no shame. Yeah. No shame.
No persecution.
No.
Yeah, and they made a movie with it with Michelle Rodriguez, and she plays a barbarian.
Yeah, it's true.
What?
It wasn't bad.
Yep.
It wasn't a bad
Remember the
movie.
lady from Fast and the Furious?
I know we're having a lot of fun here, but let's get to the brass tacks. Sniper, can you talk to her about architecture and how it's changed in the last 10 years?
Okay, Amanda, what do you remember about city builders?
I remember spending so much time in SimCity. I loved SimCity. Have you played that? That's such a fantastic game.
Yeah. Okay, so what if I told you that the people who made SimCity would go on to make another game and everyone was looking forward to it, literally everyone, because it had a bunch of exciting features, great marketing campaign, and there just wasn't a lot of city builders on the market. What if I told you they released that game and everyone hated it because they put microtransactions in the actual game itself?
Oh.
And on top of that, the game was not fun. It was very buggy. And then this happened. A random studio in Sweden released a game called Cities Skylines. and everyone played the fuck out of that. It was like, I don't know, the person that you think is going to win the boxing match comes up. He's big, he's ugly, and this other guy, real skinny, just takes one punch and he goes down. And City Skylines is a game people have played for the last 10 years, like religiously. And it is so detailed. There's mods where you can put the curb length on sidewalks. You can change the direction of the lanes and the traffic light configuration. You can do high rises, low rises.
Oh, you can make such an efficient city that way. That's so fantastic.
City.
Yeah.
Yes.
You lower a little bit of the
Beautiful.
sidewalk so that way then you can unload, whatever you need to restaurants a lot quicker. That's amazing. Wow.
It's
top tier efficiency.
It is the best thing to ever happen. And that game coming out kind of spawned or reignited or just people are now super invested in city builders as a genre. It's one of the best selling genres on Steam. And I won't shut the fuck up about them on this podcast to the hatred, may I say, of Emilio and Nick and Bobby. And sometimes even yourself. I see it in your eyes. Not that you would remember, but yeah.
I did. Yeah. I feel like I would. I feel like that. I don't know. That doesn't sound exactly like me.
It's difficult to defend yourself when you can't remember.
That's true. I can't remember, but I put a lot of hours into SimCity and Majesty. I don't know if you ever played that game. That was an old game. Majesty was a wonderful game. That was lovely. I'll have to check out this. What did you say it was called again? City
Skylines.
City Skylines.
There's one that has a 2 after it. Maybe just that one, leave it on the shelf for a bit. We'll come back to that one in 10 years. That'll be a great game. But for now, City Skylines. I think that's the one you might want to pick up. Also with city builders, really quick, they mix them with roguelites to make Against the Storm.
Wait, what's that? What's a roguelite? Is that like in D&D where you're like the kind of stealthy thief guy?
Oh, shit. Were roguelikes not around? Maybe Binding of Isaac?
Roguelikes were around, but not roguelites. Okay, so here we go again. Because you forgot from last week.
I did.
So what's new, I think, in the last 10 years are games like Hades and Inscription, where dying is part of the story. And you can't unlock the whole story unless you die a bunch of times, which is okay because the game is so hard. Dying unlocks the next step in the story and also whatever things that you got to make yourself stronger also make you stronger so that you don't die as quick the next time around. So you're progressing through the levels and you're also progressing through the deaths and unlocking 2 stories at the same time in different ways. And it's an incredible way to play a game because we all died. Well, I'm a little older than you guys, 10,000 times on Mario. I didn't get a shit thing done with every death. And these games reward you for dying.
Yeah,
which
it's pretty cool.
It's an inevitable
that's
fact
pretty
that
cool,
you're gonna die
actually.
in a game.
Yeah, and how that manifests in Against the Storm is you unlock more complex buildings as you are trying to survive this storm.
Higher and higher curbs. Higher and higher curbs.
Wow.
It's actually like Mexico where the curbs are like 3 feet high in some places.
Yeah. Have you guys seen those songs? The Mexican Sidewalk song, dude?
No, what is it?
I love it. Mexican Sidewalks. Like it's basically about like how you've never walked in Mexico. It's an obstacle course, dude. You might have something you have to physically use your hands to climb on. That's how the difference between the 2 curbs are.
Okay.
And then there might be a random hole, and then the distance between the pole and the wall is so much so that you have to turn sideways. There's no free walking.
Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they also mix city builders with story games, and they made something cool called Frostpunk. So I would check that out for sure.
Ooh.
And that's kind of all I have on what you should be catching up for city builders. Did you have any questions for any of us?
Yeah, a little bit. I think the last time I remember playing so much of Guild Wars 2. How's Guild Wars done? I mean, have they just made a Guild Wars 3 and a Guild Wars 4 and are just like really crushing it there? Or
MMOs are pretty much, I wouldn't say they're dead because a lot of people play World of Warcraft still. And there's probably a couple that have niche things, but there is no giant mega MMO anymore. They've gone the way of the
Guild
Dota.
Wars 2 kind of still.
We actually recently went back and did a Guild Wars 2, me and you and Bobby, I think, did a go visit there, and it was so full of microtransactions that we couldn't even see our screens. Yeah.
Don't
That's
revisit that
gross.
one, I guess. Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, that makes me so sad. I was doing so good in it. Oh,
But Harvest
damn
Moon,
it. Okay,
Harvest
yeah.
Moon has been reimagined as a Nintendo Switch game. Is that right, Nick? Do I have that right?
Not,
What is that thing
not
called?
quite. Not quite.
No?
Animal
Is that not what
Crossing.
Yeah, is that not what that is?
No, Animal Crossing was always a thing, and Harvest Moon was always a separate thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I had
So is there a
Animal
Harvest
Crossing
Moon
on my
like?
GameCube.
Is there a Harvest Moon like?
There's this small game, Stardew Valley. It might have been in development 10 years ago, but I don't know if you would have heard about it. I think it was pretty small back then. But
Yeah.
Stardew Valley is kind of the spiritual successor to Harvest Moon in a 2D way. And everyone's playing. Bobby's even playing it with his girlfriend, which I don't think you know him to play any games with anyone.
Wow, yeah, or
Yeah.
consistently that long. I mean, normally he likes to just shit on games. So like that's for him to keep coming back and introduce a friend, let alone his girlfriend to it. Yeah, I mean that's high praise. That's a Bobby upvote right there. That's high praise.
Pretty
Yeah.
intense. Yeah.
Big time.
Anything else?
How's
Wait.
RuneScape doing?
They made a second one, dude, and it sucked.
What?
Yeah.
It seems to be a theme for this episode and for jogging your memory. Yes, all the things that you loved were made again, but they sucked.
Yikes! Can I just go back?
A lot of the soul of stuff has been removed in the place of money,
Yep.
and yeah, it's been a little interesting.
Yeah. But the
Do
Do you have any
maker.
questions for us? Are you trying to catch up? What's the last?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I just remember really
You played a lot of this
increasing
game
my
called
levels and
Disco Elysium, by the way, which is
Yeah,
like
you
this
think you might
niche
like that?
RPG. Yeah, I think you might like. I think
There's
it
something
was your favorite
telling
game.
me.
Yeah. We're all kind of feeling it for you, to be honest.
Yeah.
okay. It sounds very familiar, and I mean, I feel like my gut's telling me it's a lot of reading, and I would really love that. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot
what do
of
you
reading.
guys like about it? Why do you guys think it's great, or I'd like it?
You can become an alcoholic and truly incite the difficulties of life by unlocking that. That's the thing you can do. But no, it's a really dynamic game as far as the RPG aspects of it. Very unconventional statistics and things that you can level up and gain attributes and like self-awareness in the sense of reality is one of them.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, I think your
another game
different
that
party
released-
parts, don't your different party parts communicate with you? Like your pancreas might tell you to like maybe calm down on this,
Stop.
something like that. I don't know. I didn't play the game much. There's too much reading for me. But you were gushing over.
you
it.
will like it.
You were gushing over it.
Yeah.
for
Okay.
sure.
And then lastly, you remember Dark Souls?
It sounds familiar, but
Yeah, it was made by that niche company called From Software. They made Armored Core.
Company.
Yeah, they made this game called Elden Ring after making 2 more Dark Souls, and it blew the doors open in the world of open world games and RPGs and stuff like that. You get to ride around on a horse. It breaks all the rules of Dark Souls before it, and it will suck up like 80 hours of your life if you play it. So yeah, if you ever become, I don't know, free of all responsibility, you should definitely play it.
okay.
And Amanda, just real quick, from this list of games that we've kind of pitched to you that you should probably start catching up for, what are just top 3 that you might want to check out?
I feel like this Baldur's Gate 3 is really calling to me. Escape from Tarkov sounds really up my alley. And I kind of like the idea of the Among Us, that one sounds kind of like, who is Among Us, right?
Yeah.
Like that's, I feel like that is, I should check that out and see who's Among Us,
Yeah.
right? That's, yeah.
Yeah.
You were the biggest driver that I ever met of Among Us players before it was on phone and all that stuff. You and your friends were definitely playing that the most for sure. And Tarkov, I remember you saying something like, shoot the pores or don't shoot the pores. There was something like that.
I think
if
shoot the
somebody-
pores. Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
shoot
What?
the pores.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think I would have.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I think it was only shoot the
100%.
boars.
That's how you know that it's not a real player, I think, because they have bad clothing on. I don't know. I don't play enough to know. Or was that you, Nick?
No, definitely not me.
I don't think.
I think you hate poor people. That's what Emilio said.
I don't
That's
think.
my big takeaway.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Let's move on to listener questions.
Actually, you know what? Last week you said all poor people suck at video games. That was actually pretty interesting.
That's what she said. That is what she said.
You really became an elitist over the last 10 years. We didn't tell you that you're a real asshole.
It's
wow,
kind of weird that you.
damn.
Yeah, the portal is like a reset, and maybe in a good way. Yeah, because you're getting pretty extreme.
I'm kind of getting the sense that at the end of this, I should just go back into that portal.
Yeah, you might want to.
Yeah.
By the way, the Kansas City Chiefs win like 3 Super Bowls in a row, so bet on that, all right?
Good to know.
She's not going back in time, idiot. It's modern day.
I'd like to.
Okay.
Man.
Well, let's move on to listener questions. Nick, who do we got? What do we got?
So first question we have is Zed Leplin's. I play quite a bit of Squad. Lately, the servers I've been playing on have been extremely toxic and had people that are breaking many conduct server rules, beyond the point of reporting every single one of them. Have you ever run into a game that you loved, but the community is so toxic that it's not worth playing? I seem to be getting to that point. If so, which game? On a brighter note, what are some games that the community is so good it doesn't even matter if the game is average? Thanks, you guys are awesome.
Oh, good question. by the
Thank
way.
you. Yeah.
That is
Great
a
question.
very thoughtful question.
I have something right off the hip, and I think I've talked about it before. Insurgency Sandstorm. You still can't mute or block people in that game. So what will happen is people will just say the most heinous shit, and they know that there's no way for people to mute them. So of course they're very motivated to just be very like annoying. There's no punishment for them, even like social punishment, even like ignoring the person who's doing that. So they'll just be shouting the N-word, S-word. They'll dress themselves like racially horribly, and they'll hit buttons on your phone. And it'll just be so distracting. You're trying to play this pretty hardcore shooter, and these people are like anticing around you. And so Insurgency Sandstorm is a really good game, very addicting, so I uninstalled it for that reason. But I also uninstalled it because it just wasn't worth listening to these people talk, basically. That's like probably the worst that's ever been for me. Like every other game has some sort of mute or block button, or people just aren't that shitty consistently, like every match. For the good community, I would say Mechabellum, which people have just really positive and just excited to play a strategy game, and like it's like fun and there's not a lot of immaturity. I don't know how they managed to do that, but every single match I've played of Mechabellum has been really positive. So yeah.
Believe it or not, Age of Empires 2 has one of the hardest and most devout communities that is super accepting, that if you try to get into the game, people will volunteer hours of their time to teach you the game, essentially, to the point where like you can play competitive. And it's very, very interesting how accepting they are. Like it's only like, I think it's like 80,000 people or like 100,000 people, but they're always like, anyone's welcome. Come in. As long as you're not an asshole, you're welcome. As long as you're not crazy, you're welcome. And yeah, they'll help you out. Just learn the game and kind of appreciate how the game works into like the point of like in a deeper level. As far as like negative communities, definitely Squad. I actually stopped playing Squad because some of the shit that was being saying. Like if you mute people as well, you can be punished for muting people because technically you're muting like your squad leader or whatever, and you're supposed to be listening to them. And you can be kicked for not listening to them. But I would say Call of Duty has been pretty toxic, only in Warzone though, because in like the actual ranked matches, most people just don't even talk anymore. Funny enough, the new generation of kids can't talk shit. They're really bad at it. Like it's really crazy. Like there's actually a video that I just watched about like online lobbies and stuff, and essentially like the new age of kids are so afraid of being recorded saying something bad that they refuse to talk shit.
Oh,
like
shit.
They won't be like, your mom's fat, your mom's ugly. Like you suck at the game. Like they won't say anything like that because they're afraid of being recorded and being like it being used in one way or another.
We need shit talking in game. I feel like good shit talking makes a good lobby. Like there's
a healthy amount of
there's a
shit
healthy
talking, banter, and bullying that needs to occur on the internet. But it's like a very sensitive line. Like there's like a healthy amount. It's definitely not 2009 levels, 2010 levels. That was a little crazy. But like 2014, 2013 was like a nice, even keeled time. In
like last year for you,
shit
Amanda.
talking on the internet.
Yeah. That's the sweet spot. Yeah. I wonder if you could, and I know I'm springing this on you at this second, but answer this from your current state, not from anything you might be remembering as we've jogged your memory.
Well, to me, in 2015, I've played so much Call of Duty and can speak on that, especially Modern Warfare 2, and really got started with Modern Warfare 2 around 2009. And it was, in my entire life, the most toxic thing to deal with is the communities and stuff of 2009 Modern Warfare 2. So in response to that, it has gotten better. But I'm also thankful that there is an option to mute the whole lobby, because sometimes I just want to play and shoot and kill things and not interact with the lobby at all. That's probably going to be toxic, especially the moment I open my mouth. So muting it all is definitely the way to go about it. Positive communities. I think a lot about ARC. There's two communities in the crafting survival I think of that are really impactful, and it's Arc and Rust. And one is negative and toxic, which is Rust, and then the other one I've seen be so helpful and wonderful and like really great people, and have built some really awesome friendships from that. And that was in Arc, Survival Evolved.
Nice.
Yeah, Rust can be pretty rough. Anything, Emilio?
Yeah, I remember. I mean, it's an old game. I don't even know if it really qualifies anymore, but EVE Online, I was so lost. I had no idea what the hell was going on, and somebody just grabbed me and held my hand, and for no reason spent like 3 hours on me. It was awesome, and it wasn't an isolated incident, because I remember when we were covering that game, Bobby also had a very good introduction to it. It's one of these games where it's always kind of like on the brink of obscurity, and so I think they're either trying to get you into their space cult, or they just want to get the game and foster the community. I don't know how it's doing now, but it can't be fantastic. And then as far as toxic, I've been playing a lot of TF2 lately, and there's toxicity, but it's definitely manageable. You can mute people that are being audibly toxic, and then in text, who cares? As long as they're not spamming nonstop, like a macro. And it's kind of cute in TF2. It's not as bad as all these other games that I've played. The real bad ones, like Counter-Strike at its height and stuff like that. So, yeah. So those are my two answers.
Sweet. And great question.
Cool. Yeah, great question. Zed Leplins.
Zed Leplins. I love that username too.
Next question is from Pyronical. I want Amelia to choose an item on the shelving behind him and tell the story of how it was acquired.
Ooh, what will he pick? There's so much on the shelf behind him.
There is so much. What if I do it blind?
Okay.
Just kind of reach.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
We could be witnessing a terrible accident here. He's spinning.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I don't know why I shouted as if he was further from.
I hear you better. Oh, by the way, these new headphones are great. I could be fucking mowing the lawn and I can still hear you guys.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Oh, this whole thing. This comes from.
Is that the Ocarina of Time?
This is a genuine 100% Chinese-made Mexican good, and you can actually. I bought it in not at Mexico City, but just far Teotihuacan, which are the pyramids in Mexico, which are only an hour outside of Mexico City. And yeah, there's people there selling things that they made by hand and stuff. And this is a wolf whistle. I love it. I think it's great. And there's we bought little bird ones. Oh, so a little bit of a story. My brother-in-law and his wife bought Luna a like, I don't know, some sort of like thing to amplify your voice. So Luna was running around the house with the amplified voice, which is already loud, and just like keeping us live. So I was like, I'm gonna buy them so many bird whistles. So I gave them like 10 bird whistles for their kids, and they're like, thanks, motherfuckers. So they got a bunch of bird whistles over there
Nice.
from the same people. I also got some other stuff from there. There's a lot of onyx there because there's a lot of volcanic activity. And there's some onyx stuff back here as well. Yeah, but most of the rest of the stuff is Lego stuff, the things that Nick's bought me over the years.
What a good nephew.
Yeah, he's a good nephew.
Good nephew.
I try. I don't have any shelves behind me. I just have a cat. Hello, cat. Last one is from Warconius. It's a 3-parter. First things first is, what is the best thing about where you live? City/neighborhood, etc. I'm going to definitely say the diversity where I live. Very, very diverse part of San Antonio. Very, very diverse part of Texas. A lot of different cultural things to do. For example, this weekend was the Lunar New Year's Festival. It was being held at the mall. Apparently a lot of people showed up to that. Just a lot of cool stuff around here. Also, the Alamo's pretty sweet. Found out Phil Collins actually has the largest private collection of Alamo artifacts.
I didn't know why I thought you were going to say fought in the Alamo. Like,
No, he's not that old, dog. Jeez.
Damn.
I was like, the crazy thing about Phil Collins is he fought in the Alamo.
I think my memory is starting to come back a little bit. I remember a little bit of San Antonio. I spent some time there, and the Alamo was a very, very cool part of San Antonio. Also, that big river that you go through where you can drink margaritas walking around being like, that river's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is pretty neat.
That sounds good.
My old company that laid me off, they offered me that job to go out there. They are currently remodeling or I don't know what you call it, to the Alamo. They're revamping it. I don't know. What do you call it? Restoring. They're restoring it right now.
They're restoring. Yeah, I actually know what's going on there. They're restoring and building a new display center. So the Alamo's broken up into like 3 main sections. There's the Alamo proper, right? Which is like the living museum that you can walk through. You can see the mission. You can see all the things that are there. You can see the live actors that are there that pretend to be people from that time. You can see like the cannons and stuff. There's like the Alamo outer level, which is like these statues and stuff that have been built to like dedicate to the Alamo. There've been gifts from other countries and things like that. And then lastly is like the actual Alamo Museum, which is like behind the Alamo. And it's a very nice building that actually you have to pay to get in. And it explains in greater detail, like how everything happened, the future and the past that happened during the Alamo. And it just really explains everything and has a lot more niche artifacts inside there as well.
Sweet.
Nice. It makes me feel bad for turning down that job, dude. It would have been cool.
Yeah, you could have lived here.
That would be cool. I'm going to be pretty quick. The best thing about my neighborhood is how close everything is that I need. Like, I can do all my needs, like my grocery shopping. There's like so many different types of shops from all around the world. Calgary is like most modern cities, like super multicultural, but the area that I live is maybe even especially so. And I just like how it's laid out. There's parks, there's water. I think I love my neighborhood, I would say. Yeah.
Great.
Sweet.
It's easy for me, man. I'm in San Diego, California, the whale's vagina. There's literally anything. It's all here. So the beach is 30 minutes away, 20 minutes if you go direct. You have Mexico, which is 20 minutes away, which has its own perks. You can go to the mountains in about an hour. You can go to the snow in 3 hours. You can go to caves. You can go to, oh man, so much military history here. There's the downtown. There's, oh my gosh, the beer here is fantastic. The nightlife, how good looking everybody is, how happy everybody is. It's fucking awesome. It's a really good place to live. Just insanely expensive. The least, I think, number one, least
number
affordable
3.
place.
I think New York City, Seattle, San Diego.
Maybe an expensive. That's how expensive it is. But as far as affordability, I think we were number 1. That's
Most unaffordable.
How much people are making versus how expensive it is.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because in Manhattan, people are making so much money, right?
Gotcha.
And here, what do we have? We have beer. You know?
And actually, interestingly enough, Detroit was on that list too for the longest time of least affordable because
Really?
you'd be making,
Fuck.
yeah, and it's because like you would be making like 20 an hour, but then your 1-bedroom apartment was costing over $1,000 a month. So like it's that ratio of like how much you're making to how much it costs to live. But they were like, I think number 8 for the longest time for a while, at least, while I was living there. I think this amnesia is starting to kind of lift though, because like with this question, I mean, like I woke up in Seattle, but like, I remember the last time I went through that portal, I was in Detroit. And so
There you go.
yeah.
An upgrade.
Yes and no. I mean, it's certainly the number 2 most expensive spot. So yeah, I mean, I love living in Seattle to where like you talked about in like basically in an hour, what kind of stuff can you see? And like you could see so much here in around an hour. The seafood is absolutely amazing. The Asian food's absolutely amazing. There's like really cool diversity, a really great music scene here too. And like just a lot of cool things. I love that I can walk to a light rail and the public transportation exists and it's not even that bad, but the fact that it exists is great. So
Speaking of things that exist, I didn't know if these actually existed, but do you think that there is a market for? This is still from Warconius, by the way. Do you think that there is a market for gaming, video games / board games / cards, specific retreats or resorts? Imagine you go to a resort where the room is set up with consoles, PC, and streaming equipment, full room service, a gym, a pool for getting some physical activity, a VR room, and then some common areas meant for local gaming, board games / cards, etc.
He is
You mean,
describing
are
DLG.
you trying to commercialize DLG Con, dude?
Hey, get out. That's our idea.
Yeah, that's our idea.
yeah,
But
I think I've planned one of those before. Yeah.
A couple. Yeah.
or 6.
A couple.
So there's it sounds great, right? But like a Disney tried to make a Star Wars hotel that played a story out while you're staying there, and that thing tanked, and now I think it got sold to like a storage company. Now it's that whole building is now a storage company. It's so sad. So I don't know. It has to be done right. Like what could have been better than your stay is actually part of the story. I thought that was conceptually so cool, and with so much funding, and they couldn't get it to work. Maybe one big game is not the way. Maybe a bunch of little games is the way. I don't know. But I have had this other story or this other business idea that I was going to put a bunch of PCs in a trailer and tow it around to different offices called the LAN van. And then the people could come down and like play a 5v5
That's a great idea, dude. As like a team building thing, get the LAN
like a team
van.
building thing. Yep. Yeah. The LAN van, dude. Even though it's not a van, like it's too good of a name to like
Pass up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So we'll go to the next question now. Warconius also says, last part. Also, I need to mention that you guys got the whole picking a movie to introduce Star Wars to kids wrong the last episode. Bro, you got to work on your sentence structure, homie. I love you, but this is rough.
Is it
essentially he's
referencing
saying
you?
that I might be stupid. What do you call it? Essentially, what he's saying is that we had a discussion on what is the best thing to introduce kids to get them introduced into the Star Wars universe, and he's saying that we chose the wrong choices for that. He goes, with much experience, the right answer is watching the animated series like Clone Wars and Bad Batch. After they are hooked, go to the Lego Star Wars games and then the movies. Also, Return of the Jedi is the correct first movie for kids. I think in that discussion we were talking about only the movies. I think if you are really trying, not every Star Wars IP or show, because there's like Young Jedi, which is like a new show that's in the last 2 years. That's for children below the ages of 5.
Yeah.
And
Luna actually likes those.
Yeah, they're pretty good actually.
Yeah.
And then there's like Clone Wars and then all the other animated shows. Of course, those are way better than choosing the movies, but I don't know. Like as far as the movies goes, I think episode 1 with like the playfulness of Jar Jar Binks and other stuff is like the place to go, because they were kind of really, I shouldn't say dumbed down, but like kidified. By the third one, then you're dealing with like politics and shit like that and crazy stuff. So,
well, the first one does have a trade embargo at the center of its plot. Nobody knows why or how it fits in, but it's there. What's that, Amelia?
So you're going to be in the position in 8 years, or 7 years or 6, whenever you decide to pull the trigger. What movie are you going to start it with?
I think Bobby is right that for their enjoyment, it's episode 7, but I can't help but think maybe we should do the classics first, 4, 5, and 6, and then 7. Maybe I make them sit through those. It's just, do I want them to have the best experience, or do I want the best experience? And that's a tough question.
Well, them having the best experience gives you the best experience.
Okay. Spoken like a seasoned father.
You know what's insane is that I actually know somebody who did not watch any of the Star Wars movies growing up, knew nothing about Star Wars, and they were about 30 when they watched the first Star Wars movie, their first Star Wars movie. Mm-hmm. And it's number 4, and it's very interesting catching her opinion on everything in like the first 10 minutes of the movie, because what's told to you in the credits, she wasn't really paying attention, and so she was like, "Who's the good guys? Who's the bad guys? What's going on here?" And I'm like, "You're supposed to figure that out, man. You're supposed to pick your own team in this side. You're supposed to,
what?
In reality, we're talking about
the imagery of the starting scene, even if you missed the opening crawl, is like small white ship going away from huge diamond black ship dominating the screen. It couldn't be more obvious.
She is pretty dumb, and I won't mention her by name because I'll probably get sued.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's all for listener questions this week. Did we cure amnesia, Amanda?
I really think so. Like, I'm starting to get like instances of Tarkov and Disco Elysium. Like, they're coming back to me. A little bit of Baldur's Gate. There's this really sexy vampire guy with like this British accent that is like keeps sitting in my mind, and I think he sucks blood. I don't think he's related to vampire survivors.
Not just blood, dude.
But
yep.
Oh, okay. So I don't. His name starts with an A and a stereo something. I don't know, and a stereo something. But like, yeah, I think so. I think this is really helping. Thank you, guys.
You'll be staring at him. Let me tell you. Okay, cool.
There is blood in the thing. He sucks. Anyway, speaking. What are we playing next week?
Well, next week is very exciting because it's going to be our Civilization episode. So Amanda, myself, and Nick are all playing a multiplayer game of Civilization. And when the game releases coincides with our episode releasing on our early experiences. So you'll be able to play Civ 7 when it comes out, listen to us talk about it. Not just about Civ 7, maybe our history with the series and what we think about all the games. But yeah, we're playing it early and we are very excited to talk about it.
That means I have a week off, so I'll probably finally play the Caves of Cud. I've tried once when I was drunk and I could not get it. So I'm going to give it another try. And I am looking forward to your guys' Civ. And Days, I'm going to definitely check out your interview. I'm excited to listen to that one with the indie developer. And speaking for Nick, Christian, Days, and myself. Oh, geez. I didn't even think about this. Forgetful titties, everybody. Who knows where they are? And we're going to play you out by Secunda by Skyrim.
Bye.
I think we could have found a high def version of this, but, playing it straight off of a fucking 8-track
We
is
brought
cool
that
too,
from
man.
2015 as well.
Yeah,
Is that from LimeWire, bro? Where did you download this?